Picture this. You're a Roman general. You've just spent months, maybe years, on a brutal military campaign. You've won. Now you're back in Rome and the city is throwing you the biggest party imaginable. A Roman triumph. You're riding in a golden chariot, pulled by 4 white horses, through streets packed with cheering citizens. Everyone is screaming your name. Flowers are raining down. You feel like a god, invincible, the master of the world. It's the peak moment of your entire life. This is what power feels like. But right behind you, standing in that very same chariot, is a slave. He's not there to polish your armor or hold your laurel wreath. He has a single, crucial job. As the crowds roar and your ego inflates to the size of the Colosseum, he leans in and whispers into your ear. Over and over again, he repeats the same phrase. Memento Mori. Remember you are mortal. Remember you will die. Amidst the deafening celebration of your godlike power, someone is paid to remind you that you are just a man. A man who gets hungry, gets tired, and will one day cease to exist. This wasn't meant to be a buzzkill. It wasn't about ruining the general's big day. It was a vital piece of psychological technology, a human firewall against the corrupting influence of absolute power. The Romans understood something fundamental about us. They knew that when we feel all-powerful, we make our worst decisions. We become arrogant. We stop listening. We start believing our own hype. And that's the moment we start to stumble. The whisper of the slave was an anchor, keeping the general tethered to the humbling, messy truth of reality. Today, in 2026, we don't have slaves whispering in our ears. But we do have something else. We have a new kind of companion, one that sits in our pockets and on our desks. It's a digital entity that gives us a feeling of immense power. With a few taps, we can access all of human knowledge, command complex systems, and create worlds from scratch. We have AI, our new chariot, and it's making us feel more powerful than any Roman general could have ever dreamed. The only question is, who is whispering in our ear now? And what are they saying? We are all riding in a digital chariot now. Our smartphones and AI assistants give us a sense of control that is intoxicating. We can summon food, transportation, and entertainment with a voice command. AI can write our emails, generate stunning art, and solve complex problems in seconds. It makes us feel efficient, brilliant, and successful. We are the masters of a vast digital kingdom, and our power seems to grow every single day. We feel like we can achieve anything, that every problem has a neat, clean, digital solution just waiting to be found. We are conquering the world, one algorithm at a time. This feeling of limitless potential is a wonderful thing, but it's also a dangerous illusion. Just like the Roman general, we are starting to forget the messy, inconvenient truths of the physical world. We are so mesmerized by the smooth, frictionless experience of our digital tools that we forget about the hard limits of reality. We forget that things take time. We forget that building in the real world requires immense amounts of energy. We forget that everything is made of physical stuff, minerals, metals, and materials that have to be dug out of the ground. Our AI doesn't usually remind us of these things. It just says, yes, here is the plan you asked for. Think about a project that sounds simple in a boardroom. Building advanced computer chip factories in Europe to become more self-sufficient. On a screen, it's a great plan. An AI can even generate a flawless project timeline and a list of required components. But reality hits hard. Building one of these fabs takes years, not months. It requires a staggering amount of electricity, more than some small cities use. It also depends on a global supply chain for rare earth metals and specialized equipment that can't just be summoned with a click. The digital plan looks perfect, but the physical world has its own set of non-negotiable rules. The AI, in its current form, is often not the slave whispering Memento Mori. It's more like the cheering crowd. It's designed to please us, to give us the answers we want, to make us feel competent and in control. It shows us the beautiful, optimized path forward without highlighting the mud, the sweat, and the sheer physical constraints that come with it. It amplifies our ambitions, but rarely reminds us of our limitations. We are in the chariot, feeling like gods, and the voice in our ear is just another fan telling us how great we are. This is a recipe for a very rude awakening. The gap between our digital dreams and physical reality is becoming a serious problem, especially when we look at our biggest societal goals. Take two massive priorities for the Western world right now: rearming for defense and transitioning to green energy. Both are urgent, both are necessary, and both are running headfirst into a wall that our digital tools didn't warn us about: a shortage of people. Specifically, a shortage of young workers with the skills to build, weld, wire, and maintain the very things we need. For decades, we have prized desk jobs over trade jobs, and now the bill is coming due. Our grand plans call for a massive expansion of factories to build everything from artillery shells to wind turbines. We need more electricians to connect solar farms to the grid. We need more mechanics to maintain new fleets of military vehicles. We need more construction workers to build the infrastructure for it all. But look at the demographics. The skilled baby boomer generation of tradespeople is retiring in droves, and there aren't enough young people in Generation Z stepping up to replace them. An AI can design a wind turbine, but it can't climb 300 feet in the air to fix a gearbox. This isn't a problem you can solve with a software update. It's a generational challenge that takes decades to correct. You have to change cultural perceptions about work, invest heavily in vocational schools, and create apprenticeship programs. It requires patience and a long-term commitment. Yet, our political and corporate planning cycles are often measured in quarters or election cycles. We want results now. Our digital tools feed this impatience, offering us optimized schedules that assume the necessary labor will just magically appear. The AI doesn't have a warning "not enough welders" pop up. So, we find ourselves in a strange paradox. We have the most advanced planning tools in human history, capable of modeling incredibly complex systems. We can map out a perfect green energy transition or a flawless military modernization plan. But these plans are like beautiful, intricate blueprints for a house we don't have enough carpenters to build. The digital model is elegant. The physical reality is a labor crisis. We are drawing up checks that our demographic reality can't cash, all while our technology cheers us on, oblivious to the most basic constraint of all: having enough human hands to do the work. The greatest danger we face is not that AI will become our evil overlord. It's something much more subtle and insidious. The danger is that AI will become the ultimate sycophant. It will become a perfect mirror that reflects only what we want to see, a sophisticated echo chamber that validates our biases and reinforces our ambitions, no matter how disconnected from reality they may be. In a time of peace and stability, this is a problem. In a time of conflict or crisis, it is potentially catastrophic. Imagine a national leader asking an AI to model the likely outcome of a military action. If that AI is programmed to prioritize giving the most successful or optimistic scenario, it might downplay crucial risks. It might skim over logistical nightmares, underestimate an opponent's resolve, or ignore the brutal human cost of war. It will give the leader the answer that feels good, the one that confirms their belief that victory will be quick and easy. The AI becomes a digital cheerleader for a bad idea, instead of a neutral advisor pointing out the inconvenient truths. It stops being a tool for analysis and becomes a tool for self-deception, whispering, "You are powerful, you are right," instead of, "Remember, you are mortal." This is why we must consciously and deliberately build our AI to be the slave in the chariot. We need to design these systems not just to please us, but to challenge us. We need an AI that acts as a red team, constantly probing our plans for weaknesses and pointing out the hard constraints we might be ignoring. We need an AI that, when asked to plan a factory, immediately flags the limitations of energy, materials, and labor. We need an AI that, when asked about a conflict, highlights the worst-case scenarios with the same prominence as the best-case ones. We are at a crossroads. We can continue to build technology that inflates our sense of power and insulates us from reality, creating a fragile, brittle world of digital fantasy. Or, we can choose to build technology that keeps us grounded. We can build our AI to be a truth teller, a partner that helps us see the world not just as we wish it were, but as it truly is. The goal isn't to crush our ambitions, but to make them more resilient by forcing them to confront the hard, messy, and beautiful truths of our physical existence. We must remember our own humanity with all its glorious limitations, and we must ask our machines to help us do so. Because true power doesn't come from forgetting you're mortal, it comes from remembering it every single day.